Good morning. Here's a prayer from Bahá'u'lláh. In the name of thy Lord, the Creator, the Sovereign, the All-Sufficing, the Most Exalted. He whose help is implored by all men. Say, O my God, O thou who art the maker of the heavens and of the earth, O Lord of the kingdom, thou well knowest the secrets of my heart, while thy being is inscrutable to all save thyself. Thou seest whatsoever is of me, while no one else can do this save thee. Vouchsafe unto me through thy grace what will enable me to dispense with all except thee, and destine for me that which will make me independent of everyone else besides thee. Grant that I may reap the benefit of my life in this world and in the next. Open to my face the portals of thy grace, and graciously confer upon me thy tender mercy and bestowals. O thou who art the Lord of grace abounding, let thy celestial aid surround those who love thee, and bestow upon us the gifts and the bounties thou dost possess. Be thou sufficient unto us of all things. Forgive our sins, and have mercy upon us. Thou art our Lord and the Lord of all created things. No one else do we invoke but thee, and naught do we beseech but thy favors. Thou art the Lord of bounty and grace, invincible in thy power, and the most skillful in thy designs. No God is there but thee, the all-possessing, the most exalted. Confer thy blessings, O my Lord, upon the messengers, the holy ones, and the righteous. Verily thou art God, the peerless, the all-compelling. Here's a prayer for children, which I'm going to sing. O Lord, I am a child. Enable me to grow beneath the shadow of thy loving kindness. I am a tender plant. Cause me to be nurtured by the outpourings of the clouds of thy bounty. O Lord, I am a sapling of the garden of love. Make me into a fruitful tree. Thou art the mighty and powerful, and thou art the all-loving, the all-knowing, the all shall see. I'm going to say a prayer for the departed. Glory be to thee, O Lord my God. Abase not him whom thou hast exalted through the power of thine everlasting sovereignty, and remove not far from thee him whom thou hast caused to enter the tabernacle of thine eternity. Wilt thou cast away, O my God, him whom thou hast overshadowed with thy lordship? And wilt thou turn away from thee, O my desire, him to whom thou hast been a refuge? Canst thou degrade him whom thou hast uplifted, or forget him whom thou didst enable to remember thee? Glorified, immensely glorified art thou. Thou art he who from everlasting hath been the king of the entire creation and its prime mover. And thou wilt to everlasting remain the Lord of all created things and their ordainer. Glorified art thou, O my God. If thou ceasest to be merciful unto thy servants, who then will show them mercy? And if thou refusest to succor thy loved ones, who is there that can succor them? Glorified, immeasurably glorified art thou. Thou art in truth, adored in thy truth, and thee do we all verily worship. And thou art manifest in thy justice, and to thee do we all verily bear witness. Thou art in truth beloved in thy grace. No God is there but thee, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. Here's another one from Bahá'u'lláh. Glorified art thou, O my God. I yield thee thanks that thou hast made known unto me him who is the day spring of thy mercy and the dawning place of thy grace and the repository of thy cause. I beseech thee by thy name, through which the faces of them that are nigh unto thee have turned white, and the hearts of such as are devoted to thee have winged their flight towards thee, to grant that I may at all times and under all conditions lay hold on thy cord, and be rid of all attachment to anyone except thee, and may keep mine eyes directed towards the horizon of thy revelation, and may carry out what thou hast prescribed unto me in thy tablets. Attire, O my Lord, both my inner and outer being with the raiment of thy favors and thy loving kindness. Keep me safe then from whatsoever may be abhorrent unto thee, and graciously aid me and my kindred to obey thee, and to shun whatsoever may stir up any evil or corrupt desire within me. Thou truly art the Lord of all mankind, and the possessor of this world and of the next, No God is there save thee, the all-knowing, the all-wise. And now I'm going to read from the hidden words of Bahá'u'lláh. Well, I didn't mark where I left off yesterday, so I may repeat some of them. O Son of Being, my love is my stronghold. He that entereth therein is safe and secure, and he that turneth away shall surely stray and perish. O Son of Utterance, thou art my stronghold. Enter therein, that thou mayest abide in safety. My love is in thee. Know it, that thou mayest find me near unto thee. O Son of Being, thou art my lamp, and my light is in thee. Get thou from it thy radiance, and seek none other than me, for I have created thee rich, and have bountifully shed my favor upon thee. O Son of Being, with the hands of power I made thee, and with the fingers of strength I created thee. And within thee have I placed the essence of my light. Be thou content with it, and seek not else, for my work is perfect, and my command is binding. Question it not, nor have a doubt thereof. O Son of Spirit, I created thee rich. Why dost thou bring thyself down to poverty? Noble I made thee. Wherewith dost thou abase thyself? Out of the essence of knowledge I gave thee being. Why seekest thou enlightenment from anyone beside me? Out of the clay of love I molded thee. How dost thou busy thyself with another? Turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee, mighty, powerful, and self-subsisting. I want to read that one again. It's number 13 from the Arabic. O Son of Spirit, I created thee rich. Why dost thou bring thyself down to poverty? Noble I made thee. Wherewith dost thou abase thyself? Out of the essence of knowledge I gave thee being. Why seekest thou enlightenment from anyone beside me? Out of the clay of love I molded thee. How dost thou busy thyself with another? Turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee, mighty, powerful, and self-subsisting. And now I'm going to read from this book, The Summons of the Lord of Hosts by Bahá'u'lláh. And I'm going to continue where I left off yesterday. As I've mentioned before, this book is a compilation of tablets by Bahá'u'lláh. And the first tablet that I'm reading is called the Suriy of the Temple, the Suriy-i-Haykal. And we're going to continue our theme. And at the beginning of this first paragraph, Bahá'u'lláh refers to the primal point. And the primal point was one of the titles of the Bab. The Bab was Baha'u'llah's predecessor who announced the coming of one whom God would make manifest. And that turned out to be Baha'u'lláh. Baha'u'lláh was a follower of the Bab, and he received his revelation while incarcerated in chains in an underground pit 3 flights of stairs below the ground. And here, Baha'u'lláh is addressing the followers of the Bab, the Babis, who refused to recognize Baha'u'lláh as the one whom God would make manifest after the death of the Bab. And here he says, he says, had the primal point been someone else beside me as ye claim. What that means is that the Spirit of God that animates God's divine messengers is the same Spirit, whether it expresses itself through Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, the Bab, Baha'u'lláh, Abraham, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Quetzalcoatl, the Peacemaker, Buddha, Krishna, or any of the messengers of God that God has sent into the world from age to age to educate his human children no matter where they lived and no matter at what time they lived. So the Spirit of God is the same. The name changes, the personality changes, the place of appearance changes, the time in history changes, but the Spirit is the same. So this is what he is referring to. Of course, the body and the personality are different, but the Spirit is the same. So let's see what Baha'u'lláh is saying to the followers of the Bab who refuse to recognize Baha'u'lláh. Had the primal point been someone else beside me, as ye claim, and had attained my presence, verily he would have never allowed himself to be separated from me. But rather we have had mutual delights with each other in my days. Of course, he's speaking spiritually here. He, in truth, wept sore in his remoteness from me, because the Bab knew that Baha'u'lláh, his follower, was actually the chosen one that the Bab was trying to prepare his followers for. He preceded me, that he might summon the people unto my kingdom, as it hath been set forth in the tablets, could ye but perceive it. O would that men of hearing might be found, who could hear the voice of his lamentation in the Bayan. That's the book that the Bab had revealed. Bewailing that which hath befallen me at the hands of these heedless souls, bemoaning his separation from me, and giving utterance to his longing to be united with me, the mighty, the peerless. He verily beholdeth at this very moment his best beloved amidst those who were created to attain his day and to prostrate themselves before him, and yet who have inflicted in their tyranny such abasement upon him as the pen confesseth its inability to describe. So the Bab knew when he was writing his writings, including this book, the Bayan, all of his writings were replete with this lamentation at what was going to befall Bahá'u'lláh, and his separation from him, and his longing. All of his writings were filled with that. So now Baha'u'lláh goes on, and he says, "Say, O people, we verily summoned you in our former revelation," in other words, the revelation of the Bab, "under this scene of transcendent glory," in other words, the recognition of Baha'u'lláh, "this seat of stainless sanctity, and announced unto you the advent of the days of God." So this time is the beginning of the coming into the age of peace by humankind. With these teachings and with this divine energy that Baha'u'lláh has brought into the world is now in the process of being transformed. The old ways are dying and the new ways are rising up. And that's why it's called the days of God. This is what has been prophesied in all the religions of the past. Yet when the most great veil was rent asunder, and the ancient beauty, that's Baha'u'lláh, came unto you in the clouds of God's decree, ye repudiated him in whom ye had believed aforetime. So he's talking right now, he's still talking to the Babis, but really he's talking to all of us who cling to our old teachings without realizing and admitting and opening to the fact that they've been fulfilled now. Woe betide you, O company of infidels! Fear ye God, and nullify not the truth with the things ye possess. When the luminary of divine verses dawneth upon you, from the horizon of the pen of the King of all names and attributes, fall ye prostrate upon your faces before God, the Lord of the worlds, for to bow down in adoration at the threshold of his door is indeed better for you than the worship of both worlds. And to submit to his revelation is more profitable unto you than whatsoever hath been created in the heavens and on earth. Say, O people, I admonish you wholly for the sake of God, and seek no reward from you. For my recompense shall be with God. He who hath brought me into being, raised me up by the power of truth, and made me the source of his remembrance amidst his creatures. Hasten to behold this divine and glorious vision, the spot wherein God hath established his seat. Follow not that which the evil one whispereth in your hearts. And the evil one is that part of ourselves that is the ego, and that is all the unworthy attributes that we're subject to: greed, anger, hate, revenge, all of those things, the 7 deadly sins. if you will. It's in us. So he's saying, follow not which the evil one whispereth in your hearts, for he verily doth prompt you to walk after your lusts and covetous desires, and hindereth you from treading the straight path which this all-embracing and all-compelling cause hath opened. And then he goes on to talk about the evil one some more. Now, I just have to say that I have discovered this evil one in my own heart. And it's very scary. It's me. But it's a part of me that really, really troubles and scares me. And it's a part of all of us. And when you discover it, it's quite illuminating. Say, the evil one hath appeared in such wise as the eye of creation hath never beheld. We see that, don't we? He who is the beauty of the All-Merciful hath likewise been made manifest with an adorning the like of which hath never been witnessed in the past. So he's saying that the revelation of God for this day, that the messenger of God for this day, shines with a light that we've never seen before. And so too do the manifestations of greed and hate and selfishness. The call of the All-Merciful hath been raised, and behind it the call of Satan. Well is it with them who hearken unto the voice of God, and turn their faces towards his throne, to behold a most holy and blessed vision. So, every word of the manifestations of God has infinite meanings. So, vision here, I perceive that he's talking about not only his own being, his own human form, but also the vision of peace on earth that is destined to develop from this mighty revelation and is already in process and in progress. For whoso cherisheth in his heart the love of anyone beside me, be it to the extent of a grain of mustard seed, shall be unable to gain admittance into my kingdom. To this beareth witness that which adorneth the preamble of the book of existence, could ye but perceive it. So he's saying that your attachment, our attachment, has to be first of all to truth, beyond any other attachment we might cherish in our hearts. First, we have to cherish God and truth. And when he says, to this beareth witness that which adorneth the preamble of the book of existence, could ye but perceive it. To me, that's another reference to the writings of the Bab. And he's saying the writings of the Bab bear witness to this. This is the day whereon God's most great favor hath been made manifest. The voice of all who are in the heavens above and on the earth below proclaimeth my name and singeth forth my praises. Could ye but hear it. Now, this is very interesting. This brings up a point that there's a tradition in Islam that when the promised one comes, he will utter one word which will put to flight the kings and nobles of the earth. One word. And I have heard it said that that word is I. Because in this day, Baha'u'lláh speaks directly with the voice of God. Because this is the day of God. This is the day that has been promised. And so, as you notice, Bahá'u'lláh speaks with the voice of God. So thank you for joining me this morning, and I will be back tomorrow.